So yeah, welcome to, I don't even know what episode number this is of the David Ian Howe Show, but I'm here with North 02, and we've been trying to plan this for months now, and we've been Instagram buddies for like probably a good 2 years, year. I don't
Yeah.
know. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Of all the YouTube channels that like I watch anthropology of, I'd say Stefan's and yours, and there's another one I watch. I guess it's more of a history documentary channel, but like yours are like the ones when they pop up, I'll be like, oh, nice. And I click on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you do good stuff. So yeah, man, just kind of want to get to know you. I guess I don't know if you've done a podcast like this before.
I've done one or two other smaller podcasts, but yeah.
Okay. And it's just funny because like I've not met you in person, but we've texted enough times and stuff, and we have like a group chat with other people.
Yeah. I think this is the first time I've ever talked to you, which is funny because I feel like I've been talking to you on Instagram and everything for 2 years, like you're saying.
Yeah. And when I first started messaging you, I thought you were like a 40, 50-year-old dude.
A lot of people did back then before
Yeah.
I like whatever face reveal and started appearing in my videos.
Which, by the way, dude, the way like you sent that to me and Stefan, and you're like, "How's this look?" And I side texted Stefan. I was like, "Kid knocked it out of the park, dude!" Like
With the like
it's
the
good.
whole yeah.
Yeah, man. Well done.
Thank you.
And the setup you got right now too.
Yeah. Took me a long time to get that going, but yeah. I don't really use it too much for my videos, but I don't know. I'll probably do it in the future more. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I have a million questions for you, but one
All right.
thing like I've definitely noticed about your channel that I like more than most is your emphasis on like experimental stuff, stone tools, weaponry, and all that. And I just want to like right off the bat, like, where's that come from? What got you interested in that?
Man, I'm always loved like just tools in general. Like a lot of people don't know this, but I had a channel before North 02 where I literally just made like weapons, which sounds like pretty nerdy, but like I'd
Yeah.
make like knives and stuff. And it's just something about it's so fun for me, just creating something like sharp or I don't know, whatever it is. And I remember on that channel, I was like, all right, I'm going to make a video about stone tools. Like this was my thought process. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the local creek, find some rock, flint knap it, and make a tool. And then I went out to my local creek, and of course, there's no actual flint or anything there. It's middle of Minnesota. We don't really have any stone here. So I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot harder than I thought it was. And then I looked into it more and more. And that's kind of honestly what got me into stone tools is I couldn't believe like it's so much more nuanced than you'd ever imagine. I mean, obviously you're aware of it, but
Yeah.
so yeah. And that's probably what kind of got me into stone tools. But then I was also always just into like evolution content, like ancient animals and stuff have always just fascinated. I mean, since I was a kid, so I just kind of put that together really for my channel. And it's been a long time coming though. I've made a lot of random videos over the years. And then I eventually got into like the anthropology, paleoanthropology niche, archaeology. Yeah.
Yeah. And people will send me your stuff and be like, have you seen North R2's? And I think when I was texting you this, but for the audience listening, I was in the line for Kill Tony a few months ago. And this dude was like, you're an archaeologist? Have you seen North R2? And I was like, yeah, I just texted him. And like, it was a funny thing. And he's like, no way. But I was just like meeting this other comedian. But yeah, like people send me your stuff, people on Instagram, and where I'm going with that, not just to like kiss ass, but like, you do good work, man. And I was very surprised when you told me like you hadn't gotten like an undergrad in anthropology yet, or like you hadn't gone to grad school. Because I kind of again thought you were like some 40-year-old dude that had a PhD. So yeah, well done. Like, where's that come from? You do clearly good research.
I just honestly, Trey the Explainer, like when I was like probably 15 or 16, I started finding his videos, and I didn't know anything about like academics or like using sources. I just knew like when you're in like English class and you have to cite a source one time for a paper, I'm like, oh, okay. But then I started watching his videos where he really breaks down like pseudo topics with like real science. And I just thought that was, so fascinating, like to actually use real science, which sounds so, I mean, to us now it sounds so basic, but at the time I was like 15, I was like, whoa, you can do that. So he was probably a huge inspiration for me, trying to be scientifically minded about topics like that. And obviously when we're talking about prehistory, that's all science is really all we have to understand that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, for sure. And like as a kid, I think you're a little bit younger than me, but like you had I'm sure Discovery Channel, History Channel, all that stuff too.
Oh yeah, I loved Ancient Aliens and a
Yeah.
bunch of other shows that were definitely not very science minded, but luckily I got steered in the right way.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. Like it's just cool. I forget who I was telling this to the other day, but like it's just as a kid watching that stuff, it was interesting to me, like watching Bill Nye or Crocodile Hunter, that was like a job you could do, and it seems so unattainable. And then like before COVID, but then COVID and just everything shifting online and like influencer stuff, it just became like, oh, you can just do that now. Like
Yeah.
become a crocodile hunter or like make a YouTube channel. So
I remember for me, it was in like 8th grade when it was, I was a kid. I was watching like the FaZe guys, Call of Duty guys, and one of them bought like a Lamborghini or something. And I was like, it like blew my mind. I'm like, this guy makes YouTube videos. How is he like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. He plays Call of Duty on the internet. And I think ever since then, like, I was like a little kid in 8th grade and I just like idolized YouTubers as being like the pinnacle, coolest people. So I think there's no chance of me not becoming a YouTuber after that point in my life. I was like, I just have to. I mean, that's the only thing I can do.
yeah. And I mean, I noticed today, like you had to repost your North Sentinel Island weaponry video because of the monetization stuff, and
Yeah, that was a shame.
gets frustrating, I bet.
And just the circumstances around that, it was just like, it was literally just a picture of like Jarawa people from the Andamanese Islands like sitting around in their camp, and I
Yeah.
had blurred out everything. Like, I mean, these kids are wearing like loincloths or whatever, so I like blurred out any regions that could be seen like that. And then they still took down, or not took down the video, but took the demonetization or the monetization away, which ultimately affects like the video's performance, which is what matters to me more. So it's just
Yeah.
like, really, like, you're going to do that over nothing, like an anthropological photo. Really, it's just like, yeah, it's a shame, but
Yeah.
just got to work around it, I guess.
And I assume that's more. I've only had 2 videos that got like, not striked, but it was like a ineligible for monetization thing.
Yeah.
But like, I imagine it's AI finds it and it just like thinks it's nudity or something. It's not like a person, is it?
I bet some like really prudish person like saw the image and then like reported it to YouTube, and then it was
Oh.
probably AI from there. But then I requested it 2 times to be seen by a human. Basically, it literally like says that, and then both of those times they were like, nope, human nudity, child nudity, and it's just like, come on, dude. So
Yeah.
I just reposted the video and they can't do anything about that. So
And you put the
yeah.
Bitcoin pictures over that
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, the demonetization logo. It's so annoying, and that's why I've made it like that. So people who are watching the video are like, yeah, wow, really, YouTube, you're gonna kind of a little silent protest, I guess, against.
Yeah, I saw those comments.
Yeah.
The other funny thing too is I just did that alpha video this week, and your advice, I think it was last year, on like you just edit 20 minutes of watch time a day, and then or something, whatever your process was, and I kind of loosely adopted that, and then my output got so much better because I stopped being so hard on myself with it. But anyway, I spent a week just like the whole day, editing that video, and I had like screen recordings of the movie, and I had pictures from the movie and stuff. And then I finally posted it, and then it was just like and I had the Savages song from Pocahontas played in at one point, and it was like copyright from Disney, copyright from Sony Pictures, and I was like, yeah, it's fair because I just like cut half of a movie and put it into my YouTube video. So then from there, I was like, oh, I noticed like channels like heavy spoilers or those like TV show review things or movie review things. They always just put stills from the movie, and then I realized like that's how they got around it. So it's interesting. So I guess for people listening, like I'd love to do more of the clips. It's just like, and it's hard because it made the video more creative to me, showing like clips from the movie and like especially the language. But with the music in the background and stuff, it gets flagged. So it's kind of a. Have you found other bummers like that with videos besides nudity?
I'd say for you, you should probably upload that other one on like Patreon or whatever, so people can watch like you could say like the better version of the video, and then just have the one with the stills up. I mean, I guess that's what I would recommend. But for me, honestly, like it kind of blows my mind that I haven't dealt with more. I mean, I use all stock footage and music from like Artlist and Storyblocks, so like I can't get copywritten for that. But like I mean, I'll use images and then like just credit people's names, but I really have never dealt with anyone being like mad or requesting me to take it down. So I guess I'm just probably pretty lucky in that regard.
What made you want to start YouTube? You might have said that kind of already, but like, I know you were in school and you started making videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like when I was a kid and I was like that impressed. I mean, a kid, 13 years old, I guess, you're
Right,
kind
the
of an
Lambo.
old kid at that point, but you're still so impressionable. And I just saw these YouTuber guys, they're like, and the kids younger than me now, I even noticed like my cousins or like, people I know, it's like the YouTubers are like the celebrities completely to them. Like they don't even think about like when I was a kid, it was still like, movie stars and stuff, but they don't even really think about that anymore the same way. Cause they're always just on YouTube. Like I told my cousin that I was a YouTuber and I had like 400K subs and he was like, what? No way. And like, he had no idea. And it was just like, whoa, like, it's just so funny how it's changed like that. But I don't know. I just always wanted to make videos. I've literally been doing it. Actually, I've been doing it. Posted my first video probably in 2008. So,
Wow.
And I'm pretty young too. So yeah, I don't know. I always had like the knack to try to make videos. So just ended up having to be archaeology videos. I totally could have made some other kind of videos, but I'm really happy that it ended up being like science-based at the very least though.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Your style is more like you narrate over and then you, I assume, like have a script and then you narrate it and then you put footage over top, or do you have like more of a thematic theme in mind or the footage first?
Yeah, it's pretty like set in stone. I just make a script, record audio, and then put the images over the audio. Like it's a pretty simple process. And then I see video like when Stefan makes videos and they're so like he's like recording him. Oops. He's like recording himself talking and then doing all this stuff. I'm like, wow, that's like looks like a lot of work. It looks complex. So I don't know. I like my process. It's really simple. It's hard to like go wrong. And yeah.
Stefan's on like another level, dude. And then he'll message me and be like, just do this or that. And I'm like, yeah, that's so easy. Like,
for you,
yeah.
You got a British accent, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. That really helps, I think.
Really, yeah. And he's just like a likable dude. So
likable, knows what he's talking about, articulate, and like his style for sure is more like documentary. I mean, yours is documentary too, but his is like, I can't explain it. It's like you're watching a news show or something.
Yeah.
Like,
he told me one time that he kind of wanted his content to be like Fox, Johnny Harris, almost like whatever CNN. They had some like whatever back in the day, or I don't know. Whatever his style is, it's like a narrative. I'd say it's like narrative way more than like mine's not really narrative at all. It's just kind of like an explanation. Mine's more like a video essay, I'd say, my content.
Yeah, that's a good point too. And yeah, Johnny Harris is definitely like an undisputed goat of YouTube, like storytelling. And I could see Stefan, like, having that. Because I think he said Vox at one point. He liked the Vox.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, not CNN. Yeah, Vox.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, his are great. So your video essay style, how'd that come about?
I think that's just, I guess it's probably still from Trey the Explainer is like where that motivation came. Still have never really talking to Trey directly before. Makes me kind of sad.
He's an enigma, dude. He's not in any group chat or like group that I'm part of. Yeah.
I don't know, but whatever the case, I'm going to give him his flowers for, his inspiration of like a lot of my content and channel and stuff. So
yeah. He's got one of the only videos on the pre-contact dogs that's on YouTube. And it's got like,
I love that video.
Views. Yeah, it's just good. I don't know who he is. I kind of like keeping it that way as a mystery.
Yeah.
As a kid, were you like, because Jackass was big when I was a kid, so we would take the camera and like, take our little pull wagon thing and take it off like a folding table, like a ramp, and just hit our head real hard. And like record that. But were you doing that kind of stuff?
I've done that like same exact thing. Yeah. When I was in like 4th grade, like some of the first videos I was making was like us like driving like a little Tykes bike down a hill really fast and hitting a snowbank or something like that. So
snowbank. So Minnesota, what's that like?
It's pretty cold. And it's nice that we have like really, really distinct seasons, like there's fall, spring, winter, and summer, and they're all very different. but I have horrible allergies, so I hate spring, and winter is really cold and sucks. So, and summer's actually really hot in Minnesota. I feel like a lot of people don't know that. It's hot and humid. So, I mean, it's not Florida, but it's still uncomfortable. So, fall is like the best month ever here. So, that's usually when I try to actually go outside and do stuff. But yeah, I really like Minnesota. When I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to move to Montana. That would be cool. Or Wyoming. Like,
Yeah.
wait, where are you from actually?
I'm from all over, man. I'm from Long Island originally,
Okay.
and then did high school in Tennessee, and then now I live in Wyoming.
Huh. Yeah. See, I'm jealous because one of my friends does live in Montana. And I'm like, high school me is so jealous of you. But then I don't know. Minnesota's pretty cool when you grow up. I just want to get a cabin here at some point in my life. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty set. That's all I need. So,
It's a good state for fishing, I understand.
oh,
Right?
yeah. And
You
you
love
can see
fishing.
got a fish right there. So,
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
it's a wooden, like hand carved walleye from like someone in my family carved it. So,
Oh, it's not like a stuffed like
no, it's
like
just,
oh, okay.
that's just a block of wood that they turned into a fish. So, it's pretty
Damn.
insane.
That's cool. Doesn't talk if you hit the button.
No.
Okay. I guess I don't talk to many of the people that I don't fish, I should say that. I have like as a kid. Did like you could take the like a ferry off the bay on Long Island and do like drop line fishing.
Huh.
You get like flounder and that kind of stuff. And then Tennessee, I don't think I've done fishing once. Wyoming, I've done fly fishing, and I've done I haven't done ice fishing yet. But
You should. I'm
yeah,
jealous because I would love to go ice fishing in Wyoming. I mean, I don't really know the area that well, but I know up in some of those mountains up there, there's like some really good lakes for trout. I've been meaning to go there at some point in the next 5 years or something. So,
sure. I talk to like a lot of nappers, and we can get into that too, which I'd love to. But I don't talk to a lot of people about fishing. When you're fishing, and you'd send me just send me a text of like a bunch of copper hooks one day, and I was like, "Oh, Dane's got a project," and then like we're doing it. But like, yeah, it's like I guess where I'm going with that is I always ask people like, does napping connect you more to like how people used to think? But fishing, I guess, in that extent too. Like, do you think about that when you fish?
oh, for sure. Like, I'd say fishing for me is like the best way to actually like, sounds corny, but like get in touch with nature because you're like directly impacting, like you're directly interacting with these animals that are, man, fish are just, I could talk about fish all day long, but like, I've never really done like prehistoric fishing where you use like a bone hook or like homemade line or anything like that. It sounds so challenging to me, but I know a lot of the Native Americans around here were really into spear fishing. Like that was one of the main ways they caught fish. And with the old copper culture stuff, they were making a lot of these like copper harpoons. And I showed you some of those other like Leicester spears, they're called.
Yeah,
And I definitely want to do more spear fishing. I wasn't able to do it in the winter this year that much. I got sick during like the best times for spear fishing, so I wasn't able to do it. But so that's what I'm going to do next winter. I'll do a lot of content like that. But also this in June, I'm actually going out and I'm visiting all those copper mines with David Pompiani. He's like a geologist. I might have talked to you about that before, but he discussed him and his like colleagues found that lead spike in the Great Lakes. I think it was like 6,000 or 8,000 years ago. Maybe there's two spikes. I'm a little rusty. I have to remind myself about these things, but it's just insane that like they were mining copper 6 to 8,000 years ago in the Great Lakes region. And most people I talk to don't even know that the Native Americans used metal, which is kind of derogatory in a way because
sure.
people just don't know though. Like they think they were using stone tools or bone tools or something, but metal was actually used like all over the place and depending on in a bunch of different contexts. But so my goal for this project in the early June is to like just explain to people in like a big like documentary kind of way, like, yeah, metal was used like everywhere in this region for thousands of like literally 6,000 or something years. It was like the main form of tool that they were using, which is just insane. Like people have no idea about that.
So I'd always seen like on the Reddit archaeology page, like one of the big things on the top is like pseudo archaeology creeping in, I think is like a pin thing they have. And on that, it like, I always see this guy posting something about copper culture and it being like a pseudo thing, like related to I guess they're connecting that like people brought metallurgy here, something like that. So I always just attributed the copper thing to that. But you had, and I'm remembering now, you did text me about that, and I looked into it because somebody was asking me about copper in one of my videos. And yeah, I didn't know much about that. And I don't know if you want to save it for the video or not, but can you explain like more on that?
Yeah, I would love to explain more. I know from the friend the geologist I'm going to like go to these mines with, he has it all laid out in his book. Not that I'm plugging his book, but
Sure.
it's there is a lot of pseudo claims because basically, you know, the settlers came over here, you know, that took all the land and stuff, and then they ended up finding like burials with copper artifacts in them, and they're like, whoa, are these like lost tribes of white people that were in the Americas? Of course, because that's what their minds jumped to, is the 1800s. And so that started a lot of kind of pseudo ideas just floating around organically in like the Midwest. Like, oh yeah, they're used, you know, it's like the mound builder thing. Like, I don't know too much about it, but I think the thought was like, oh, a lost tribe of white people made these mounds or something. I'm not too familiar with those pseudo claims, but, and then there's also like a Graham Hancock element. He kind of started the idea that the Phoenicians were coming over to the Americas and mining copper and bringing it back to the Mediterranean. It's just completely nonsense, you know?
Hancock said that?
Yeah. He was saying that in like it was on his website. So he can't say he didn't say it because he did.
Wow.
And this is just a huge pseudo claim out there because they found this Phoenician barge or something that had like 99% pure copper. And then people were like, the only place you can find copper that pure is like the Great Lakes region. And it's like, well, obviously they just refined it to be that pure. But yeah, so there's a lot of like pseudo claims around that because again, people just can't believe that no, the Native Americans were actually just mining and working copper because they're smart people who can figure that out for themselves. So there's a whole like pseudo element to it, and just which is kind of fun to touch upon. But yeah, I'm definitely super interested in finding out more. I really don't know too much about the topic yet, and I really don't think there's too much research about it either. But that's kind of what I also want to spur or like help people get interested in, like young archaeologists or researchers, is like, this is something that's huge that has not been looked into really at all. And it's like, we definitely need more people interested in the research. That's what my friend David was telling to me as well. Like, because the people he like talks to a lot of archaeologists working out there, and like they're finding, you know, copper everywhere. Like they mined so much of it. Like they basically mined almost all the copper that they could get to with their mining methods because they didn't have like steel picks or explosives or anything. So they mined all these shallow mines, but they could only go, you know, 10, 20 feet down. When they hit bedrock, they kind of like, it was kind of hard to keep mining from there. But like what I've been described to is like the amount of copper these people removed from this entire region is just mind blowing. Like thousands and thousands of pounds over, you know, thousands and thousands of years.
What do you think that is? Like, how do people come up with copper like tool use?
They probably found, first of all, like the glaciers would have dropped like copper nuggets like all over the Midwest, and like we know that's a fact. And they could have just found these rocks. You know, they're looking for napping material, and in Minnesota there is not like any napping material. It's really bad. Like
it's
there's some
glacial runoff land, right?
I have never found any, and from what I've heard, it's really difficult. So, you know, they're probably looking for like little pebbles of flint and other stuff, and they just come across like copper nuggets, like this weird heavy thing. And then from there, you know, probably just intuitively, they're like, let's hit it really hard until it's sharp. And that's probably how they made the first tools. But they have carbon dated tools back to 8,500 years ago from Wisconsin, projectile points. So that's, you know, mind blowing. That's like, I bet they were using it probably even over 10,000 years ago. Like, you know, if they're already making like very intricate projectile points 8,500 years ago, it's like, well, they might have, you know, how archaeology is, you never know. But
I guess, were they smelting it in any way?
No,
like
they're just
tempering it.
I've tried to do it once or twice, but I'm gonna actually like making the video with this guy who's basically the expert at remaking these tools.
Sure.
And you just like get it hot in a campfire, and then I think you might dunk it in water to make it really soft, and then you hammer it out from there and just repeat the process like 20 times. So you just slowly turn this cold nugget of copper into a tool. And some of these tools they made were crazy. Like
Hmm.
You should. Didn't I send you that picture of the copper sword?
Yeah, you did. I didn't
Like
realize that was from here.
23 inches long or something, and it's like I don't know how old it is. I'd have to ask those guys like that are like really into the topic. But it's at least probably 2000 or more years old, and it's like that's literally like they're making copper swords like without smelting or anything. It's just mind blowing.
In the old world, like I guess I kind of just always assumed like somebody dropped a piece of copper or tin into a fire and it like melted and they thought it was cool. And then they just somehow, metallurgy came from that. I don't know. There's probably a more succinct or like testable way that they figured it out, but it is pretty interesting because metal's something I know nothing about.
I think from what I've heard is that like malachite is a very, it's also used as a pigment. So it's like super green. So I think I've heard maybe the origins of metal were like people were experimenting with this cool pigment they found. And then they found that they could turn it into, if you got it really hot, I don't know either, but I think that was one of the ideas about how it came along.
Makes sense. I've only ever heard of malachite in Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's like refined malachite. You have to dump like 40 like ingots of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then you're like a decent, if not really good napper from what I've seen. So I can't remember which one is your hands or not in the video and stuff, but yeah, how'd that come from? Or where'd that come from?
I started Flintknapping probably like 2020, 2021 or something like that. And it's just so satisfying. Like the first time you hit off like a good flake, you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to do that 100,000 times. Like, it's definitely taken me years to get better at. And I honestly don't do it that often. I might do it like once a month right now. I'm not trying to get better or anything. I just do it when I have to for videos. But, and then I see these guys on Instagram making just the craziest tools you've ever seen. And I'm like, I don't even want to try because these guys are they're on another level. So, but I definitely love it. And like thinking about the whole angles and geometry and everything of it, it's so like, it's impossible to explain how complex Flintknapping is to someone who's never tried it or done it long enough. Right. It's like literally, it's so intellectually stimulating. I think I even heard from you, it was in one of your videos or something. It was like, it's like the same thing. It activates the same thing in your brain as playing chess or something.
Yeah.
That was in one of your videos. And I was like, that's so true. Cause that's exactly what your brain feels like. It almost hurts sometimes when you're Flintknapping because you're just like, what? Like,
yeah.
But it's still hard to explain that to people because if you've never done it, it's just,
I've tried to bottle that and explain to people. And like when I had my friends and I had a bachelor party at this lake house and I brought my Flintknapping shit and I just laid out my tarp. It was like, guys, try just hit this. And I showed them where to hit it. And like the look on their faces when you got that nice crack and the first big flake that popped off, like it's just such a satisfying sound, but also feeling. I can't describe it. It's just like I did that, but I don't know how to describe that. But yeah, I agree. I think I'd heard that in lithics class in grad school that it does. It's like they put nodes on someone's head or whatever that is, and it's the same part. But it's like whatever part of your brain does logic is what Flintknapping is. So yeah, because you got to think 2-3 steps ahead. You have to then picture the object inside the stone kind of, and like it's tough, man. How'd you learn?
YouTube videos for sure, and just destroying a whole lot of good rock that I shouldn't have destroyed for sure.
Yeah, but, like $100 a box too.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, no, just really YouTube videos and just trial and error, I think is the only way to learn, which is unfortunate because that means you have to destroy so much good material.
Right.
But have you ever tried napping like I always refer to it in my videos, like in my TikTok videos, like a Neanderthal point, which is just, Mousterian or Lavawa points. Have you ever tried to do like that technology?
I've yet to attempt the Lavawa technique thing.
Like the flake isn't that difficult to make, like, the big circular one. But like to make a point is so hard. I've tried so hard at doing it, and I always just end up making like blade core technology because it's just more intuitive. It's like you're just making straight flakes off of each other. But to make like a real one, like the real classic Lavawa point has like, the two converging sides, and then the middle is also taken out. I wish I had an example here, but I I got to see a real one at the University of Minnesota, like from France, like a Neanderthal point. And like, it's so much more complex than like people would ever understand. And I try to explain it in every video I've made about Neanderthal technology, but I still know I'm not getting it through completely.
Right.
But making some of those like flake-based technologies can be almost like just as difficult as like bifacial stuff in terms of skill of hitting it right and the preparation, like you're saying, 2 to 3 steps ahead. There's way more at stake when you're making like a flake-based tool that you want to be kind of perfect, as opposed to like a bifacial tool. You're just like, oh, that flake wasn't too good. I'll get that back in another 6 or 7 flakes, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of a testament to how intelligent Neanderthals were. Was like it's difficult to make that stuff, and we think, oh, you know, I think that the general concept of them being like dumb is outdated by most people.
Yeah.
Understand that, but like it's still like it takes a lot of work, and it's so much more effort to make one of those, like the level of technique, than it is to just like make a blade sometimes. But
Yeah.
then refining the blades and just setting up the blades and the blade prep, like platforms like they did in Europe, is like,
Yeah. Some of those are also just mind blowing as well.
it's wild. You liked stone tools, you said, before you started all this stuff, right?
Kinda. Yeah, a little bit.
Like
Yeah, it kind
weapons.
of depends, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I assume you like McQueedles.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm about to. I have to wait until when I get back from my trip in like July. I'm going to put one of those together, and I have to come up with some cool tests with it because truly a legendary weapon. I don't know if everyone probably listening to this probably knows what they are, but
sure.
what is the right way to say it though? Because the
I think
Nawat.
Maquette is how you say it.
Oh, are you good at that? You know that?
I dabble. No, I've just said it enough, and like I know enough. I don't know enough Nawat, but like I see enough Nawat words
Yeah.
with like the dog stuff that, yeah, you just like, and like atlatl is atlat.
Okay,
And
good.
like,
You got it perfect.
yeah,
You even got the
yeah,
little click. Oh man,
yeah,
I still be saying atlatl all the time because it's just ingrained in my brain, and
yeah,
I'm like, oh gosh, just say it
yeah.
right.
I don't even think if you speak like you're, you know, in Mexico speaking Spanish, you pronounce it that way, really. But I think it's macuitl, but like it has like a word, but maquat at the end too.
That sounds
Macuat, something.
beautiful
Yeah.
to me, honestly. That pronunciation, I have to work on mine because if I could make my pronunciations that good, then I'd be happy for that video, especially. So
I was given a lecture where I was like quoting this Aztec scripture thing about dogs, and I just started like reading the words as if I could speak Nahuatl, and like the whole audience was just like, it's like, I'm just
whoa,
kidding. I don't do that.
yeah,
It's fun, but it sounds convincing. But yeah, I think I'll put a picture of it here, but it's an Aztec sword essentially with inlaid obsidian blades on the side. It's like a club. I wouldn't know how to describe it, but I don't think there's a kid, like male or female, that looks at one of those and doesn't think, hell yeah, when they see it. It's
it's
just like,
just the coolest weapon ever, and it's in so many pop culture things that you'll see, maybe YouTube videos or like a lot of those shows from the 2000s where they're like talking about weapons, and they always mess it up. They always just include like squares of obsidian because no one's nearly as skilled. It's so difficult to make those prismatic blades, and it's so hard to find someone who can do it. I can't do it, so I had to get Tony Soares, who's a great napper. I commissioned them from him. I have all the blades already. And he like I've never seen in one of those videos someone actually use like a real bladed makwa wheat, makwa
yeah,
weedle, whatever.
Mach what? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen like a good example be tested too. So that's really what my goal is this summer, is to explain, you know, whatever prismatic blade technology and to test it. And you know, the accounts from the Spanish were insanely brutal, like cutting an entire horse's head off in one swing. It's just like,
Yeah,
and I mean, you know, they're probably, the fish gets bigger every time you tell the story, but still, it's
sure.
like, at least like one of the stories is like one of the warriors struck with his maquahuits and just completely disemboweled the horse in like one go. Like the horse died on the spot right after.
It's crazy. I'd heard the thing about cutting its head off, and I don't know if that's like true or not, but like it at least like they were writing that this thing is, you know, metal.
Yeah, they're saying it's metal because they had, you know, their weapons were super cool. I mean, I love like medieval and like European steel armor and weapons, and they had like really advanced plate armor and swords at the time. So for them to be like, yeah, their stone, their obsidian and wooden tools are actually pretty metal, even though we have like the most advanced weapons on earth, or some of them, you know.
I mean, one of my other obsessions is like that time period for sure. It's what got me into archaeology. But it's funny to me too that like 100 years before Columbus was like still like knights. Like they still had like guns were brand new essentially to them. And like Columbus's journal, and like you see illustrations of it, like they had pikes and shits too. So it's like there's still like medieval people meeting the Aztecs who were like also medieval in their own way, but
Yeah.
just with stone. And it's just so fascinating. But yeah, it's like turtle poop and pine pitch, and then you glue obsidian in with that. And then I don't know if you know this or not, but a major thing of like Aztec or like Mexica warrior culture was that you didn't kill the the person, you just capture them. Yeah. So like the weapon was designed to like just maim, not kill, which is like wild. And like the Iroquois had like those big, huge wooden clubs with the stone point on the end, and like they look like it's called a gunstock war club. I can put a picture here too. But like they sometimes put a point on the end too for like Last of the Mohicans. There's one. But that also as well wasn't meant to like, it could kill you if you hit you in the head, but like if you broke your collarbones or like your arm with it, you then had a captive. So it's like without metallurgy or like swords and like gladiuses at the same time in the other side of the world, it's like you just were like inventing other ways to just absolutely destroy somebody.
It's as old as
pretty cool.
As old as time. But I talked to two Mexican archaeologists. I'm forgetting their names exactly right now, and I can't look up on Twitter. I'm not logged in, I guess, on this computer. But they were explaining to me, like they obviously know a lot about these topics, and they're explaining to me like the maco wheat would be used as like the paddle side of it would be what you'd hit them on the top of the head with to knock them out. But like I think there is some misconceptions that the maco wheat like couldn't kill. Like that's what some people think online. Like, yeah, it was meant to maim, which is true. But I think when you're maiming, it's like you're hitting them on the head with the flat part. Maybe you're taking off one of their arms, but you're also like it would 100% kill you if it's hitting you in the stomach or
in the neck or
But yeah, maybe you hit him in the limb and then you hit him on the top of the head with the big. And they're made out of white oak, I believe, the surviving example. And that's like a really tough. It's like it's kind of lighter, but it's a really hard wood. So that's what I'm going to make my example out of. I'm really excited for that.
Nice. I was going to make one in grad school instead of doing my thesis. And I ended up making a big gunstock war club because I didn't know how to make the blades. And I was like, oh, I'll just learn this on the side too. And I never had time. But
no, the blades are ridiculously hard to make.
I think Paleo Man Jim is like, he's a and he like never shows his face. I think he's not YouTubing anymore, but he's like the undisputed best at Flintknapping on YouTube that I've seen. I'm sure you've watched it. Yeah.
Oh, and he's so casual in his videos. He's like, yeah, so I just like grinded down this platform and then boom, 10-inch long blade. Like he doesn't even act like anything he's doing is like takes 20 years of knowledge to do. He's just doing it.
Yeah, man. I've fallen asleep to his videos many times, just like such a soothing voice, and then like the pop of the blades coming off, and then he makes Clovis points like nothing. He's like, here's how you make a platform, and look, he's so good at it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to make one of those. Let me know when you do, because I want to see it. By the way, I mean, I've probably said this to you. You're welcome out here anytime in Wyoming if you want to come get footage of the mountains and stuff, and especially in the winter when it's really cool looking out here.
Yeah, I'm really busy right now, but probably next year, we were set, or maybe I was talking to Stefan about it. So I was like, we got to get together, like you, me, Stefan, whoever else, wherever, just for like, I don't know, maybe we all get together and nap. I'd love to see Stefan try to nap.
Yeah, I don't know if he has
the whole time.
I don't know if we can like shouldn't talk about the group chat or not, but yeah, we don't have to. But yeah, it's been fun with the big one, and then we got little archaeology or whatever,
where we give our real opinions.
Yeah, and it's just so funny too, because there's that whole like there's a big archaeology thing, and then like one day I think it was you, were like, hey man, want to join this chat? And I was like, what? And then yeah, it was like then I'm like in this group of, you know, the Dr. Evil panel of archaeologists.
Yeah, the cabal.
Yeah. Which is just honestly just us sharing each other's videos and like
YouTube help,
discussing.
and then just joking about pseudo archaeology pretty much.
Yeah. And I can't remember, they've come after you before, right? Some of those
Yeah,
guys.
just Corsetti, he's a punk. I don't mind saying that. He's a dork. And actually I shouldn't say dork because I'm a dork and most archaeologists I guess are, but maybe I should say, yeah, he's a punk. And why are we even beefing? I don't even remember why now. Or no, he was going after Trey, and I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna let him go after Trey the Explainer on my watch. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen. And of course, he was just being like just homophobic to Trey. Just it's Twitter, so I guess that's what Twitter has devolved into now. But it's just like, dude, really? Like, he's like 38, like just being homophobic on Twitter to a guy. It's just come
He's
on,
never
like
met.
yeah. But
did Trey say he was gay or something? Or like what happened?
No, Jimmy just like took a picture of Trey like posing in front of a mirror, like with some outfit on, and was like, "This is the guy who's making fun of me." And it's just like, yeah, it's like, really, dude, like, and he just calls people whatever, the R word, and like, it's just like, grow up, like you're literally like 40 years old, like what are you doing? It's just so embarrassing.
Yeah. He kind of just strikes me as a professional troll.
Oh, for sure. It's literally just like the grifter, just a complete grifter. And at one point he said to me, we were going back and forth, and I was like, I like made fun of his videos. I was like, dude, your videos are trash. You just like sit in front of a camera. Like you don't even like put any effort into them. And then, I wasn't, maybe I was being a little aggressive, whatever. And he was like, you wouldn't say that to my face. And I was like, yeah, I would, dude. Like, and then I was like, I literally just challenged him to a boxing match because I was like, why not? Like, what is he gonna say? He was trying to bluff me, like, you wouldn't say that to my face. Like, I'm some big tough. He's not a big tough dude. Like, I'm not afraid of Jimmy Corsetti. So I challenged him to box me, and then he blocked me, of course. So
wow.
It was an eventful day on Twitter. I was having fun for sure.
I think that was when I first learned of him, because it was finally like, okay, someone I know now is like involved in it, and you either shared it in the chat or like you sent it to me. But
I had known of him actually for a while, just because I used to watch like Rogan all the time, so that's how I knew of him. And like I was probably at the time when I was listening to that, I probably couldn't tell you pseudo archaeology from real archaeology, so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, Graham Hancock, pretty cool. And then when I grew up, and then I was like, oh yeah, this guy's just a total grifter. Yeah, that whole world is it's entertaining, but I don't really try to get into it anymore. Like I'd rather just make my own content, and they can grift their way into the sunset. I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think we've texted about this. Like they don't come after me, I don't go after them. It's fine. I mean, I used to be like, when I first started TikTok, all I did was like debunk stuff and like call people out. But it just, after a while, I couldn't. You just took too much energy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Negative. I don't have the energy. Yeah. I'll call Corsetti a punk any time of the day, but anyone else, whatever. I don't care. Do your thing. You want to make videos about bases that you think are cool? That's cool too. Like, I don't care. I think it's actually pretty cool. Do your thing. I don't mind. Right. But if you're just going to be like an absolute just troll, just oh my gosh, the stuff he said to like Dibble and stuff is just like, come on, dude.
That stuff's bad.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It sucks for Flint too. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but Flint is a tough dude. Like for him to deal with that stuff every day and just like take it on the chin and just keep going. Like I have a lot of respect for that, because in that situation, I'd be like, bro, I am signing off. I do not have energy or time for this.
Not to keep going on it too, but like the big thing they said he lied about was like the shipwreck thing, which is just like
the number.
Okay, he gave a big number, and then as a bigger number is like what? Like, and then now the whole thing is like, oh, he lied, and they're calling his school and like like he's got thick skin, like to do that. And like I remember when the call out for, Hancock wanted to debate somebody on Twitter came out on Rogan. And I was like, should I do it? But I don't know enough about his work to like deal with it. And then I saw Flint's like open letter, and I was like, "Oh damn, who's this guy?" And then he's like has a hat. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's the first time I heard or found out about Flint too. But yeah,
yeah,
for him to have gone oh my gosh, when I listened, because I was fed up with Graham for years after figuring out that like he's just selling snake oil, to be honest. Like, so I was just annoyed with that. And then I didn't even know that debate was happening. I just opened my phone and I was like, whoa, this is a archaeology debate. I'm all for this. And I listened to it and I couldn't believe like Flint did such a good job. And like the fact, I know it's a soundbite, but the fact that Graham was like, yes, in what we have studied, we have found no evidence for lost civilization. And he was just so like sad during the debate. And Rogan was like, Rogan had a good open mind in that debate. And he was like, whoa, Flint, you're right. And then we know what happened after that. But in the moment, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that just happened.
I had multiple friends that weren't archaeologists or like not even like, remotely related to it message me, and they were like, "So what is this?" Because they like it got made all over the internet, and I was like, "Yeah, like it, just a smackdown. Like it was cool to see." But I mean, if you want to like believe Hancock, you're just going to keep believing him. But
yeah,
one thing I will say I'm really bummed about, and I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Rogan. Like I don't personally find his comedy that funny, but like what he's done for comedy is undeniably good. I didn't say good. Like, you know what I mean? He platforms people, gives them opportunities and things like that. And like he does have Neil deGrasse Tyson on there. It's fun to see those episodes. But like after that, when he just like was like, yeah, Flint lied because like Hancock told him that. And then I realized, oh, he's got a Netflix deal. Hancock has a Netflix deal. They both make money off of talking to each other. They're not going to say anything bad about each other. And then I was like, okay, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
It's just, or I'm done. Like, unless it's somebody I trust, I'm not going to believe what they're saying. So that was a bummer, but I'm glad it's interesting to me that it was an archaeologist to get on there to finally like do that.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. Like, yeah, exactly what you're saying.
What made you kind of see the light, or not see the light, you know what I mean? But like from Hancock, was it the Flint debate or was it before that too?
It was before that. I mean, it's so funny because I'm from Minnesota and whatever, Randall Carlson is from like, he's actually from my like kind of hometown, I guess, or he lived there. At least I've heard him describe that he's from there. And we have like these river bluffs by where we live, and they're like really wide apart. And then there's like a little river in the middle, the Minnesota River. And then so he's, of course, in his mind, he's like, that all happened in one event. It wasn't like gradual erosion over tens of thousands of years. He's like, there was one big flood and it made this giant channel. And you're listening to this and you're like, whoa, this is so crazy. Because I've driven by this a million times, but I didn't know that this was like crazy. And then you look into it and he's just, Randall Carlson is just, he just kind of yaps and says whatever. So
yeah,
I started to see through that. And then I started to just, who was it? Oh, it was David Miano. His videos on Hancock, I was really like, oh yeah. Like, what is this guy even talking about? And his videos on Carlson too are just like, oh, come on. These guys are literally just pulling this stuff. So that illusion started to break. And then, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Because, well, cool, man. I'm glad it's good to have you. Like, not like posting that kind of stuff. But I think I saw the Randall Carlson episode with Hancock on Rogan because I'd never heard of him. And everyone always was like, you should talk to Randall Carlson. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then from what he's posted, like he just kind of says stuff about the Ice Age that's like factual, and people are like, "What?"
Yeah.
like it's not that groundbreaking.
He's like the Younger Dryas period, and it's like, well, yep, that is a period,
dude. And like that is such a buzzword too, because like I'll post like the bone needle video or anything about paleo, and someone's like, "Younger Dryas mentioned." I'm so glad, and I'm like, okay. I also mentioned spring. Like, do you want to like go on about that too? Like, it's just such a weird thing, but I guess it's the impact theory or
which is totally not correct, by the way.
Yeah. I'm a little biased because my professor's the guy who like completely destroyed that. So I try not to like dabble in that one, but I obviously like, was academically raised on that it's bullshit. I should probably do a video on that. Stefan has a great one, and people do always cite Stefan's Younger Dryas video as like their like way to realize like, oh, it's just all horseshit, which is good. Well, Not that it's all horseshit, because there is horseshit in the Ice Age, but
Yeah.
like that it's not good. You're cool with me cursing, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, cool. In case your parents watch or something. Yeah, I don't know. Who is Randall Carlson, if you don't mind explaining?
I think he's really into like sacred geometry, which I don't really know much about. I'm not going to say
That's
anything.
when he lost me on Henry
Yeah.
Hancock.
But I know that there's a really funny, I'm not going to like defame him. To be honest, I don't really watch his content.
Sure.
I don't know much about him. But I did see that at one point he filmed a whole Joe Rogan podcast about how his buddy came up with free energy. He found unlimited energy, his buddy, a way to make unlimited power. And he made a whole podcast with Rogan. And then Rogan found it. And then it was never posted because Rogan found out that this guy was literally a con man, of course. So it seems like this guy was just preying on Randall Carlson. So it's not really his fault, but it was just like a whole thing where it's like, I mean, that's why you don't keep your mind that open. Like you should have an open mind,
Sure.
but you don't let this con man tell you he came up with free energy. But I don't know. I think he's like a cool, curious dude. And like, he's like a likable guy. So I don't really have anything bad to say about him, really. I mean, I could say bad things about Graham, just I don't like the way he, just the way he handles or just defames archaeologists and the whole profession of archaeology. It's like, really, dude, why can't we just have like a fun scientific field where we like when you're a kid, science is just like a fun thing. Like, oh, cool, science is nice and fun. And then he comes wrong. No, the archaeologists are all wrong. Ivory towers. And it's just like, dude, really? We were having fun before.
Yeah, I'm right there, man. I think I saw that same episode. It was the one with him and Hancock. And he was talking about like, he had this new way of like how the Egyptians could have been moving stones. And it was like with like audio or something.
Yeah, like levitate.
Yeah, something like that. And he just kept being like, well, I can't talk about it now. And I was like, oh, okay.
See, that is what that was. So he was talking about that guy, and Rogan's like, okay, we're gonna have you on for this other one then. Tell me after and we'll have you on. And then of course it ended up turning out to be how it turned out, but gotcha. I don't know. I mean, I don't even want to give them. I mean, you can give them some flowers for like making archaeology like a popular thing, and the fact that people are like, "Oh, younger Dryas,"
yeah,
it's like, and I'm not gonna lie, like they probably had some effect in like me being more interested in it. Like even when I found out that like Randall Carlson was just kind of saying things, and Graham Hancock was kind of full of lies too. It's like they definitely got me more interested into it. And at the end of the day, dude, Graham Hancock has a British accent, so it's just undefeated. Like, I'm going to find it interesting, whatever he says, dude.
Sure. Jared Diamond was saying before that, not that he's a pseudo-archaeologist, but he's an ornithologist and then wrote a whole book on the Spanish conquest of the Incas. Like, it's not exactly the most...
As I've heard.
Like, yeah, like, I wouldn't say the most, like, authoritative person on it. But that book, when I read it in college, got me into archaeology. And everyone's like, oh, don't read Hancock, it's pseudoscience, or don't read Diamond. But like it got me into it and it got me fascinated by it in that time period. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I agree with you. I think Hancock can do whatever he wants. But like when you start villainizing an entire field of people who like only 3 people are the ones you dislike, that's when I'm like, stop. Like I don't. But I also, it's not my brand to like hate on them and do that thing. So that's not my thing. Maybe I should, I don't know, but
yeah, it's also just like just human nature for me. Like the fact that we're even talking about Hancock right now when we could be talking about anything else, it's just
exactly
the drama aspect. Maybe we're even lucky to have a little bit of drama in the archaeology world of YouTube and stuff. So I don't even know. I guess
that's true too. It is like it's a default you can talk about for sure. But I guess to switch then, before that, I was going to ask you about the boxing, and then you mentioned the Corsetti and the boxing. Did you box?
I did Muay Thai for like 3 years. So, there's boxing in Muay Thai, but I'm just so not afraid of him that I would box him. But yeah,
fair enough.
I got 20 years on him, so I'll take my chances.
How old are you?
Early mid 20s. You can leave that in. I don't.
Cool. Yeah, then you definitely could kick his ass. But yeah, I saw you had a boxer or an MMA fighter had your logo on his shorts or something one day, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I sponsored. So this guy had just followed me on YouTube, or on Instagram, and actually like a couple of, and I'm like just really into MMA. Like I just, as like a fan, I don't ever plan on competing. But
Sure.
so this MMA fighter had followed me, and I was like, oh, cool. So I just started talking to him. Like we just chatted a little bit. And then one time he was like looking for a sponsor that like goes on his shorts. Usually it's just like a local company. But I was like, fuck it, I'll put my logo on your short. And then he walked out there and knocked the dude down. He knocked him down
Yeah,
2 times. And then he knocked him out the third time with the North O2 logo on his leg. So that was pretty cool. Unfortunately for him, he was about to get into the UFC, the Dana White Contender Series. He had the gloves and everything, and then he's dealing with a lot of eye issues right now.
Okay.
He needs some surgery. It's really unfortunate. Those athletes go through just people don't see the other side of MMA. They just see, you know, like Ilia Topuria at the top of the sport, knocking dudes out, but they don't see the 20,000 other athletes dealing with like eye issues is a huge thing, and a bunch of other, you know, they're always injured, and it's just a difficult sport. So I was even happy to just give him money because I was like, hey, I know people who were MMA fighters, and it's like, it's really difficult on your body. Believe it or not, obviously you're getting punched and kicked in the face. Like it's difficult on your body. So
it was one of those things I was like scrolling through Instagram stories and like passed it and then went back and double took that like your logo was on some guy's shorts.
And that was part of it. I was like, this is so random that I might as well do it. Like people are going to find this funny.
Yeah. That's half the reason I do most things.
Yeah.
I did martial arts for years, like a decade. It was
cool.
Definitely like until when I got to college, I stopped. But probably one of the, I mean, do you do martial arts too, or just the Muay Thai?
Well, yeah, I just did Muay Thai for a few years, but I mean, I still just like hit the bag every once in a while. Like I'm not training to fight or anything these days.
My favorite kind of workout. Like it just like uses your whole body.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same thing as like archery to me. It's like you're striking something. We don't have to get into this probably boring people, but I don't know. I enjoy that a lot.
It's just like a mind-body connection thing that like you can get it kind of from other sports, but I've never gotten it the same way. Like, yeah, from like just using your hands and feet to hit something is just so primal and just feels so good.
Yeah. And then especially when you like hit something with a stick or like swords, I used to do all the time to just like break things in the forest. It's like really fun.
I've been
like,
there for sure.
Ape with me. You want to go back to school, or you think you're going to stick with YouTube, or how's that going?
See, my original plan, for people who don't know, I like got my marketing degree, whatever. And I wanted to switch like halfway through to like switch to at least like an anthropology degree. My school didn't offer it, of course, which sucks, but I wasn't going to switch my schools at that point. You know, I was just like, I already had switched schools before. So I was just like, whatever. And then, so after I got my marketing degree, I was like, all right, so I should go back and like start an anthropology or archaeology degree, or maybe just like a 2-year, you know, at like the local, what do you call it? Community college. Yeah. But then, then I got out and just started making YouTube videos full time. And I was like, all right, I'm going to keep doing this because like, yeah, I honestly would love to sit down in those classes and like learn from like an actual teacher. But like at this point, it's like, how practical would it really be for my knowledge of these topics to like go to like anthropology 101? Like I wouldn't be getting my master's or anything. So it's just like I think I can just keep making videos. And like, I mean, I don't get crazy scientific. I'm not overturning the fields in any of these topics like Graham Hancock. So it's like, I don't need to make any bold claims. I just have to cite research. So I can do it all with my current understanding and the help from others. Cause I do have others help me with research, even yourself. Like I'll ask you questions and stuff. So yeah, that's how I try to keep my content like scientifically accurate, you know? So,
sure. Yeah, no, you ask good questions. I'll bring you on a dig too when there's another cool paleo one. I told my professor about you, and he was like, "Okay."
What do you?
That was the last time. What's up?
Do you have do you have like a dig this summer? I don't even like know how that works. Like,
I mean, it just depends on the school and like because every school usually like an archaeology program or anthropology program has a field school that they run that summer. Wyoming's is like a pretty famous one because Wyoming's just like a Jurassic Park of archaeology. But like they do to 4 different sites all around the states, some in Colorado. But like other schools just have active digs going on. Like Harvard usually has stuff in Mexico or like at the temples. Or like other schools have, like Carleton right now this summer, Dr. Gover's doing one at Hell Gap here in Wyoming. And like they just come out and do that, which I'm going to that this weekend. And yeah, just like different researchers have digs that they're doing and then projects, and then they have to budget for food, lodging for the students, or they just camp there. And then like depending on that, it's like, yeah, we can afford to feed volunteers. And you just really, it's just a text like, hey, can I come out? Or usually they ask me to come. But then when I was in grad school, yeah, like it was part of your credit. You got that I got paid to work in grad school. And then in undergrad, it was my, like basically your field school is a summer class, 6 credits. So you just do that. And then other projects that like were through companies that I worked for and did those jobs. But yeah, I'm just at like a sweet spot now where it's like, I'm an archaeologist. Like I know how to dig, I know what I'm doing, how to run a site. And then like, but I'm better suited at like doing the story version of it more than that now. I leave that to everyone else. So then I just like, people ask like, you want to come out and film it? And I was like, hell yeah. I just got all this stuff and I do it. So this summer I'm doing Fort Bridger in Wyoming, which is pretty cool. And there's like a big mountain man convention there.
Is that named after Jim Bridger?
Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw American Primeval this year.
Oh yeah.
But he has a fort that he built there, and there's like active digs going on there. My friend's the state arc, so he just like, they're doing a dig there. And I was like, can I? And he's like, yeah, come on out. So I was just like,
that's so cool.
Go. Yeah, man, it's fun. I mean, I would love to go to like Africa or France and do digs there too. And people do ask like, come on out, we'll feed you. But then I just like, it's like a $6,000 flight or $600 flight. And then it's the lodging and then all that. But it is, I guess, to say all that for the audience listening, there are opportunities if you would like to volunteer and dig. You just got to like, I hate to say like, you got to know when it's going on because there's no like website where it's all posted. It just like, there's just so many digs going on at the time. Yeah. But yeah, if there's another big one coming up, I'll let you know. There's none this summer that I know of.
The one you made the video on, the Laprelle site or what was it? That was so cool. Like watching that, like, and that the lithics you pulled out of there, or you guys pulled out of there, were insane. I was like, that one biface, I was like, what is that? It just blew my mind. And then just the fact that you found like the bone needle is mind blowing.
Like a literal needle in a haystack, of which Clovis sites are a haystack or needle in one already.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And that too, man, like I couldn't really stress this in the video, but like having napped myself and like knowing the gist of it, and like I wouldn't call myself good, but like I know what I'm doing. Like I see all these students that are there for their field school or like even grad students digging, and they like pull up a thing, and to them, even when I was a student, I would look at it and just be like, oh, this is a biface, or oh, this is a flake. And like in terms of an artifact, but then like as a napper, I'm pulling that up and just being like, holy shit, like, look at this. Cause it's like, look how big this is. Like, yeah. And it just, I don't know. It's just so cool. And that it's just such a perfect site of like, if you were to think of, I said this in the video, but if you were to think of the Paleolithic, Laprelle is that site. Just like super garmented people with like hides, killing a mammoth, bison, trapping all sorts of animals, Flintknapping. There's ochre. They're painting something for some reason. Probably had like music and like storytelling there. It's just so cool.
Yeah, it's just like the total. Just classic example. Like if someone were to ask like how were humans living 10,000 years ago, is like that would be the exact, like that's the same thing they're doing in Europe. I mean, obviously it's climate dependent a little bit, but it's like yeah, this is how humans were living for, and some still live like that, but this is like what we were doing most of the time, pretty much. Like,
yeah, and I think your channel does a good job of explaining that too. It's just like I watched your Salutarian video the other day because I added it to I told people to watch it from the alpha video I made. But like most of human history was just that time period, really. And like you're the same people. Like you had anxieties and like aspirations and like people you hated and like, fought with your brother and stuff too, but like all in a yurt eating like mammoth meat. It's just so interesting, and no one talks about it, which I think is like why channels like ours do well.
Oh yeah. It's all just generalizations for people when people think about, or if I watch a video and someone references like Stone Age times, they're like, yeah, when they were cavemen hunting mammoths, and they show like a guy with a big club and like a leopard costume, and it's like, all right, well, okay, that's like the most basic understanding of like what the Stone Age is. So people would definitely really appreciate being able to be like, whoa, you know exactly like these sites, their tools, what they were doing at this specific time period, like how they were living. And yeah, just the niche. I wonder if like nichety is a word, but like the nichety of like going so deep into these topics is so interesting to me because it just makes every single, like I loved looking into Upper Paleolithic art because it's just like, because I was going from, Aurignacian to Gravettian, Solutrean, Magdalenian. And it was like, because I didn't know a lot about these topics before I researched. So it was like, I was like Aurignacian. I was like, okay, so this is what they're making for art. Like pretty simple. Well, I guess Chauvet is not simple, but a lot of it's like fairly simple and stuff. And then by the time you get to the Magdalenian, you like find these pictures and you're like, whoa, that's like a human face that they were like carving into this cave wall. And it's just like you literally see almost like the evolution of like the mind or like human culture in like real time, like over such a wide time period. I don't know. It's so cool.
Yeah. Those cave panels are so impressive, dude. It's like, I think something people don't think about too is like, that's just what's on the cave wall. Imagine what they painted on their, like the side of their yurts or like
their clothes.
They probably just had like
anything.
A piece of hide that they painted on. Yeah. Like just.
Oh, they must have. If you look at Chauvet, right? It's like, those are literally like masterpieces. It's like, that wasn't their first time picking up a charcoal stick or whatever, a brush of some kind.
Sure. Yeah. Fascinating. And then I forget which cave it was, but they brought Picasso there. And then his quote was like, "We've invented nothing."
Yeah.
Because it's just like, was it Altamira?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like, I wonder how he said that too, which would be kind of funny if it was like more sarcastic or not. But
no, it was like in 17, or he had the date wrong because they didn't know at the time, but it was like in whatever 1,000 years we have invented nothing. Because like,
gotcha.
Because he was at the peak of like whatever symbolic representational art or whatever. I don't know the right terms to describe it. And then he walks in here and is just like, oh my God, like these guys are already, I haven't done anything. Nothing's new about what I'm working on.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to think of it. I haven't looked too much into that, but it is just neat. And like his whole thing was like cubism, I guess. But yeah, it's just cool. And then like the endless, like, did you play Far Cry Primal or have you heard of it?
I did. Yeah. I have multiple times.
I have a tattoo of it. It's like it's a formative game for my psyche, I would say. But like, I know they got a linguist to do the language. I don't know how much they did about like the building the villages and all that stuff, but like it definitely like was the first time I was like, whoa, holy shit, like this is what the Paleolithic was. And like it's funny now because that was 10 years ago I played that. And funny enough too, my dad went to GameStop to get something for my brother at 10 years ago, and he saw like the little GameStop TV where they like advertising new games, and he was like, "Have you heard of Far Cry Primal?" And I was like, "What? No." Ended up buying it, playing it, learning about the Paleolithic after that. It's like been pretty interesting being like, because that's like my mind's eye for when I think it's, I don't know, it's just, I'm ranting about
no, I know what you mean.
Primal now, but yeah, it's just cool. Like I want more people to experience that like lens. I don't know. You liked it?
Yeah, I remember that. I think we're both probably thinking about like the first mission where you go in and you kill the mammoth and then the saber-toothed cat attacks you. Like that was definitely, I mean, now thinking back, that probably was a pretty formative experience for myself as well, because obviously that was probably the first like piece of art or game that like was set in that time period that I like enjoyed. So yeah, no, it's a good game, but the Neanderthals are kind of stereotyped.
Right.
They never had a chance.
The Udon?
Yeah, they're just like monsters. Like,
yeah, and cannibals.
Yeah, it's literally like that one Danny Vendramini Neanderthal predation theory thing. Like where the Neanderthals were just hunting us.
Solid pull.
Yeah.
I like that. The Wenja were the people, they're like Paleolithic, and then there's, I'll put pictures here. The Azila were like the Neolithic people that were like really mean to you. Or like came after you, but then I can't remember the Ugdan or the Ogdon. I forget what the name.
I don't even remember like the factions, to be honest. I was too busy taming like the cool animals,
tigers,
hunting the bigger ones or whatever.
Yeah, it was super cool. I forget why I went on that tangent, but it was, yeah, just like being able to like participate or like be in like that time period was so cool to me. But Are there other time periods that you find interesting too that aren't like Paleolithic or anthropology?
Say I love like every historical period. Like I'll just go on like a 3-month binge of like Napoleon was a beast. Like
Napoleon was, dude.
yeah, and I'll just go through like these random time periods where I was like, wow, that was cool when people were standing in those silly costumes shooting at each other, or like the knights and everything. Or I'll just go, I think every history guy is like, all right, Roman Empire for 2 months. That's what I'm going to watch on YouTube. And then I'm going to go to World War II. And then I'm going to, yeah.
I was writing a lecture on this recently, but like just reading about Napoleon, then I watched that movie. It's like by doing what he did, just Napoleoning all over Europe, all of the Latin American revolutions happened. We got the Louisiana Purchase because he was just too busy. And then basically indirectly caused World War One. So it's like that huge time period. It's just because of this weird little French guy.
Yeah.
And that's very simplifying it, but
and those wars were like, that's like World War .5, like the first like total war in Europe. I mean, I guess you could probably say that about other times too, but people just, I always think about like, what do my friends think about these topics? And it's like, they don't know anything about Napoleon. They know he was like, oh, that's when men used to stand in lines and shoot at each other.
Sure.
And stuff. And then it's like, no, if you actually understand, like if you ever look into like what was going on, it's so absurd. Like when he escaped from the island and just came back and was like, yo, like I'm back.
Let's do it again. Yeah. Who's with me?
Yeah.
And then wild.
I'm going to Paris on Tuesday, and I have a friend who lives there, like Parisian guy. And I've never asked him about like, what is his like perception of Napoleon? Like, do they look at him as like almost like a Hitler figure, or do they look at him as like, yeah, he did some kind of cool stuff? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how French people perceive him, because like a lot of historians are kind of like, well, he was kind of a warlord, just pretty bad overall. But I don't know.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they had the whole Enlightenment and the Revolution, and then they just crowned him emperor.
Yeah,
like 2 weeks
it's
later.
The funniest thing ever. Like,
it's like, I guess he does hold our ideals, and he likes the metric system. So, a random aside too. Apparently, we don't use the metric system in the U.S. because Napoleon sent an emissary of people explaining how to use it to Thomas Jefferson, I believe, and pirates took over that ship that had the yardstick that explained it. And like they were like, what is this? And like it just I don't know if that's anecdotal, but I'd heard that somewhere, and it might have been Johnny Harris, I think.
I think I've heard of this, but I don't know much about it.
Just weird little things in history. I had audience questions for you, and that was one of them.
Oh yeah, cool.
Oh, what period of time in history do you want to learn more about?
Oh, I guess definitely like the just like contact with Spanish conquistadors and stuff, because I got a book about it from Goodwill, and I was just reading it, and it was I'll have to think of what the book is called, but it's from like the 60s, so I'm sure half the information there is probably not very true anymore.
Sure.
But it was just so cool talking about the origins of like the Spanish people, about like the Moors, like they're kind of just like oppressed peasants for the longest time, and then like they gradually just like fought their way to they did a lot of bad things, but they ended up in the New World out of anyone else. And then just a contact with the natives, obviously, a lot of bad things happened, but that period is just so cool. I mean, it's probably fascinating to everyone, just like the Europeans encountering the Native American, Indigenous Americans, and just like everything happened from there. I'd say like definitely that like contact is so interesting to me right now. Yeah, that's my great answer, because that's like my biggest obsession next to dogs is like that time period. And I want to say something, because in this book I was reading it, and it was saying so when the whatever the guy's name is, I forget the conquistador's name, but when he got into contact with the natives, they finally had like a peaceful one on like the mainland, like Mexico, and they went to trade with them, and the natives were interested in the glass beads they had, because I mean, how cool would a glass bead be if you've never seen one before? And then the conquistadors were like, oh, let me have all those axes. And they were copper axes, but they thought they might be gold because they were like so polished. So they traded for 600 of these copper axes, and the beads are probably worth nothing to them, but they might have thought that they just got a fortune in gold, and then it turned out it was just copper. But
That's so
But then
funny.
it was also fascinating to me too, because it's like they had to make all those copper axes, which is pretty difficult to do. 600 of them. Like that's a lot of copper just in weight. So that whole, just reading that little line in that book, I was like, wow, that is so fascinating.
That was in Mexico?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it was on the Yucatan Peninsula was when it were like where this encounter took place.
I'd never heard that. That's cool. I guess, yeah, the Mexicans did use like metallurgy in some senses too.
Yeah, I talked to
Like,
the Mexican archaeologist I know about it, and he said like, yeah, that is true. These axes probably weren't even that valuable, but they did kind of use them as currency. I'll have to ask him more because I maybe I'm remembering it wrong now. But yeah, metal was they like fairly widespread in Mesoamerica and like South America to some extent. And that's actually what I want to learn about more. I'm going to make videos about that. Like this summer, this fall, like use of metal just across all of the Americas, you know, because it's so covered in just like mystique and no one even, there's just not a lot of popular information about that metal was used everywhere. Like it was used by the Incas. Like they have copper plates in people's brains, you know, like brain surgery.
You know what? I think I had seen that at a lecture, and it just phased me out. That's pretty wild.
The
trepanation thing,
and
they put
yeah. My friend sent me a picture of it. He doesn't know anything about archaeology. He's like, look at this skull, and it was just like a copper plate. And I was like, that is crazy. Even though I knew that they like did that, still, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's so interesting, dude. That whole time period too, like it just kind of like you said, it's like they were peasants, and there's like 4 different Spanish kingdoms, and they all fought for the Reconquista to get it back. And then like it's like, yeah, they did these like, and then Isabel and Ferdinand had so much money, and that's why they backed Columbus, because they just had like, they invested in him essentially, being like, yeah, sure, come back with some stuff, and he did. But like, I hate. It's so difficult because it's like, obviously, yes, they did terrible things, and it's like it has completely changed history for negative and positive. But like Magellan, like those people had like, I hate just like balls, like to get on a ship and just do that, and then like Pizarro to go into like the Inca stuff and like those areas, but like Magellan and just any of those sailors, and then Cook for sure too. Like it's a lot of time on a ship, a lot of time in solitude, and like Cook for sure like had to like essentially run a tight ship, and like you're commanding an army on a ship at the same time, and like while you're exploring and doing cartography. I don't know. It's just like you can't do that. We can explore the internet. We don't have oceans to explore now, I guess, but or space. But
and the craziest thing too is like we have like direct accounts of like how these things played out. Like I'm going back to it was like the first battle, basically I think it was Pizarro fought against like the Mexica or Mexica. I forget how to say it.
Pizarro was the Inca. Yeah. Oh, but he was in Mexico first. Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't Pizarro. Maybe it was the other guy. I forget their names, but whatever. They got off their boats with the horses, and then they got in a battle. It was the first battle between like Europeans and the Mexica, like on mainland Mexico. And it was just like, we have the direct account of what happened. Like one of the horses died or whatever, but there's a fact that they came up and dropped off horses from a boat, and these guys were like, what
is happening?
Yeah, just the clash of worlds is so, and obviously it was like, there was good things that came from that, you know, like tomatoes and everything, and
French fries.
I'm so fascinated by just like it's truly a turning point in history, obviously.
Yeah.
But
my whole lecture is like, I'm still working on it. It's my next big one, but like why we should just scrap BC, AD, or CE or whatever, and just do pre 1492 and post, because it just makes so much more sense.
Yeah, then 2000. It doesn't even.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even the end of the Roman Empire or anything like pivotal, really. Yeah.
No. I mean, like the height of it with like Jesus at the time is like, you know, pivotal moment in history, I guess you could say. But like if you're Chinese or like Korean or, you know,
and didn't it still
Peru,
take like a few hundred years for like Christianity to really even become that prominent too? Like,
for it to really catch on. And
I mean, purely from a historical perspective, it's weird to think of it like that too.
Yeah. My professor has a book on this, but like if you're like an alien looking at the earth and you see like, there's like, he calls it 5 beginnings, and it's like stone tools, then symbolic art, then agriculture, and the Industrial Revolution, and we got like internet now. You would see like archaeology change, but like from 1492 onward, you would see like shipwrecks just kind of stuck around Japan, China, Korea, the Mediterranean, the Arabian Peninsula. And then all of a sudden there's shipwrecks in like New Zealand and there's shipwrecks in like Mexico, all over the place. And you'd be like, well, what the hell's, what is this? Like, what's happening? So it's like archaeologically, it's a huge thing. But I guess, Common Era, before Common Era is also an archaeological big thing. Anyway, I'm taking away from your question about time periods. But
no, I think that's really fascinating to think like it wasn't even necessarily like a material culture change. It was just like completely different. And like you could even apply that to thinking to like Clovis, like why that just exploded everywhere and then disappeared. It's just such like a weird, you almost want to call it an anomaly, but it's not. It's just, we just don't, I mean, we can understand the 1492 thing obviously really well, but for Clovis, it's like, we just don't know like everything surrounding that.
And it was like an 800-year period.
Yeah,
max.
just
crazy.
So weird. Just especially with like all of like the hindsight of like other cultures that we can see archaeologically and stuff. It's just like forever a head scratcher. That's like, you can always think about.
Yeah, no, I agree. Head scratch. I like that term.
Yeah.
One of the comments says, you, North, Milo, Flint versus Rogan, Graham, Weird Beard Guy, and the other guy, Civil War. I don't, I guess he means Captain America Civil War or something.
I'm going to sub myself out for Professor Dave. He can take my spot.
I just watched that one today and I was like, oh my God.
He is ruthless. I've been watching him for years because he just covers like all this kind of pseudo stuff, about really weird pseudo stuff too that you'd never think, like electric universe stuff. Just people just will believe in some of the weirdest stuff. And I've always been like, oh, please come to archaeology. And he finally did with Flint. And it's just, some of the sentences he says, I'm just like, oh my God, I would never even utter that into a mic. Like,
he's like brutal. A roaster.
I don't think I could be like I love how mean he is, but I just don't think I could do that. Like, I don't have it in me to like, I would just get sad. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I can't be that mean, but like he's mean with like evidence.
Yeah.
Like I can't describe
exactly.
It. Yeah.
Like he's mean and he's right. It's like,
yeah. So, what is your opinion on the stoned ape hypothesis?
I mean, I guess I'll just start with like, it is really sick to think Homo erectus was definitely eating, like almost certainly eating like psychedelic mushrooms in Africa 2 million years ago. Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
Out of the millions of Homo erectus that lived, at least a good amount went over to some mushrooms, ate them, and were like, holy, So it's crazy to think about ancient hominids actually like psychedelically tripping back in the Stone Age. Like, but the idea that it had larger implications for like evolution is just not supported, really. Like, there's just, how would you really prove that? That's difficult in the first place. And it wouldn't make your brain bigger. It's not heritable. So that's pretty much everything wrapped up really quickly. But I do think it's cool to think about for sure. It's a good thought. It's a thought experiment, like most of these kind of popular theories that aren't actually true.
Sure. I would agree. Like people ask me that quite a bit too. And it's like cool to think they would eat them. But whether that would have like a direct evolutionary effect on our brain, I don't think so. Maybe in cave art for sure, like expanding your mind in that sense, but for hominids to like hit rocks better, I don't know if but whether it did something to our consciousness, I don't know. But
wait, I can expand on that too. One of the main points I came across, because I'm kind of making a debunk video. I do try to keep an open mind, but at the end of the day, it's the stoned ape hypothesis or stoned ape theory. It's actually a hypothesis, if even, but it is one of the things that mostly disproves it is, okay, he tries to claim that the doubling of the human brain size over 2 million years, that's almost a buzzword in my mind now. It's been on Rogan says it all the time. But like that is an incredibly long amount of time. 2 million years is a long time. And like the encephalization, like as our brains got bigger, that happened in every continent that hominids lived on. It happened in Europe with Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homolongi and stuff in Asia, and obviously in Africa with our species. So it's like to try to tie that into a psychedelic mushroom that grows in Africa, but in other places it grows. But it's like not all these populations were just constantly around psychedelic substances necessarily, yet they were all getting bigger brains. So that's kind of one of the main things that like disproves it, is that like, no, our brains were just kind of growing because it gives us advantages. Obviously, like, why do you think we're why do you think we're talking on a computer right now and other animals aren't? I mean, brains are really useful things. So
Yeah, I like that, dude. I'm excited to see that video. Encephalization. That's a cool word I have not used or read in a long time. Rhoda Tattoo asks, who is someone you would love to work with?
In a video, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good question. So. Well, obviously, I'd like to work with you, which I am doing right now. And all the other creators really like that we know, that I like their content. But,
yeah, if you want to do something dog or stone tool related, I'm always happy to do a video.
I've been meaning to do a dog related video forever, and I don't know why I keep forgetting to do it. But obviously, Milo, Rossi, Stefan, I made a video with him, but I would do it any other day. I want to make a video with Kaylee at some point in the next few months. And yeah, anyone in our group chat, just honestly, I was trying to think of someone like cool and like famous or something, but like they wouldn't know anything about the things I like. So like I wouldn't even actually want to do something with them. What about you? Actually, I'll flip the question.
Ooh. I want to work with Angela Perry. She was going to be my advisor if I was going to do PhD. She's like the dog geneticist person. I want to have her on to do like and she wrote the paper on like dogs in the Americas and like their genetic dispersal. She's like I'm here, she's like here, smart wise of like dog stuff. So her to get like just make the Trey the Explainer type video on dogs in the Americas, like I'd want to have her. And then I'd love Jane Goodall, like just sit and talk with her about anthropology, but she's like 91. I don't think I could. And she's probably has a tough like stipend to get on a podcast. But yeah, just to sit and talk. Not that I would like smoke weed with Jane Goodall. I'm sure she'd like it'd be cool, but
with a chimpanzee in the rotation, stoned ape.
Yeah, I guess her or I don't know. I keep thinking the Noletti guy, but not that big a deal. I'd love to. I don't know.
I mean, I would love to talk to Rogan just to like get his mind to open up to like, oh, Paleolithic archaeology is actually really cool. But like, other than that, like, I feel like you'd just be like a kid and obviously that would reach so many people it would reach a lot of people that need to hear these things that I want to be interested in it. So I guess that would be cool. But now I just realized like Steven Ranello would be really cool to talk to.
Yeah.
He just seems like an overall positive, great dude, wholesome guy.
He really does seem like that. Yeah. And he's very intelligent.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Did you watch Todd and Spencer? I think I might have sent it to you.
No, I haven't actually, but I definitely need to. So is that Steven on there with them or?
Yeah, they did. They went up to Bozeman to do it with him there.
Cool.
And yeah, man, you would love to pick Todd's brain on stuff.
Yeah, I've seen you interview him, and I think I've seen a clip or two of him on what site was it? What site that it was a Folsom site?
Oh, Barker Gulch.
Yeah, I saw a thing he made about that. I don't even know what channel or what it was, but it was super cool to hear him talk about just like, and that one Folsom point they found there is just like the most beautiful stone tool I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's in his lab.
Oh gosh, I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
Cool. I talked to him the other day. He's got a big paper coming out in the next few months that it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I think Rogan, if you could just sit there and be like, show him how to nap, or like show him a stone tool, or like if I could just talk to him about dogs because he loves dogs, like it'd be cool. But I think he just has like that Netflix deal angle that he can't like, or his pseudo, or not his pseudoscience, his like contrarian personality overrides his like curiosity at this point, I think.
Yeah, I just think like I would come at it from like not really, because I'm not an academic in any way, so I would just try to come at it from purely like almost a YouTuber, like, this is actually a really cool thing we found, and all these cool things that you don't know about, I'll explain to you. So like I mean, that would be my strategy if I ever get to go on there, if that show is still running in the next, who even knows? So
yeah, we'll see. Okay, why do you think, but I think they mean to say, what do you think is the biggest mystery in the spread of humans across the globe?
I think one of the biggest mysteries is definitely like, why did we replace every other hominid? Obviously, we bred with some of them, but it's like, what about us was so. I mean, there's kind of already partial answers to this, but it's so mysterious to think about this actually happening in real time. Like, oh, these new guys show up, and then the people who are like perfectly adapted to these environments in like East Asia, island Southeast Asia, like Floresiensis and Luzonensis, like they're perfectly adapted. They've lived there for hundreds of thousands of years, and then these new guys show up, and then in like an archaeological blink of an eye, like they're just completely extinct, and these guys control everything now. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
How did these guys from starting from Africa they were just so much better than every other hominid? And some of like Neanderthals were obviously they had a lot of like breeding issues, and that's probably why we really replaced them and stuff, population issues. Like they were strong as hell. Like everybody knows, Neanderthals are kind of stocky and strong, but I like went into the research on making a video about like how strong they were. And it's like actually ridiculous, like athletically, like their just like their anatomy. It's crazy. And then it's just like we showed up, and then, it wasn't too long until it's just like, well, we did replace them, even if it probably wasn't violent. But yeah, it's that's just just replacing every other hominid is just so crazy and so sad. We don't have any left. I wish there was at least one species, or at least like even a population. It's like modern Homo sapiens, like genetically, are so similar to each other. It's like, even if we just had a population living on some island that was like really, really distinct, like that would be really cool. But like really modern humans, even though a lot of us, look kind of different genetically, we're pretty much the same. We're the same species, obviously, but we're so similar. It's crazy.
I like that answer, man. That was good.
Yeah.
I probably would say something similar. What is your favorite archaeological site and why?
Ooh.
I don't think I have an answer to that.
I mean, I could say like a cave with like paintings in it, but that's not really archaeology in the same way. It's not like artifacts. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, I guess it is, right? Like Chauvet, you can.
Yeah, I mean, there are artifacts, but
tools. Yeah.
So I would definitely say one of those caves for sure. Probably Chauvet, just because it's like my favorite. Oh, I thought I had the shirt on. I have a Chauvet shirt, but
oh, nice.
Otherwise, maybe even some site in the Americas, just where they found like mammoths and Clovis points. I don't know, just something like that, which is cool because that's literally what you excavate and stuff. But
yeah,
I definitely just love Paleolithic sites. Okay, it would probably actually be like a Solutrean site. Maybe some Solutrean site, yeah.
Yeah. The Paleolithic. They're the Paleolithic to me. It's just cool.
Yeah.
I like that one too. Okay, and then this one says, what is an example of human kindness in the fossil record that moves you?
Oh, definitely.
Is that from a video?
I got him right here. Definitely. What is it? Demonisi 4 or 1? I forget the number at this point. But this guy right here, the Homo erectus, he was a real old guy, probably in his 30s, 40s, 50s. They used to age a lot quicker back then. but he's missing all of his teeth. His jaw is like withered. He just an old dude, and he shouldn't have been alive. Like all of his teeth were gone. Like you see that it's smooth. It's like his gums totally reabsorbed the teeth, or like the tooth sockets, meaning he had like not had teeth for a long time, and they must have been feeding him, like they probably chewed up the food for him, which is pretty gross. But
right,
yeah, and just all of the other fossils found alongside him are so crazy. Like you should look at some of these skulls, the Demonisi or Manisi. I don't know how Georgians say it, but that's a crazy. Honestly, that might be one of my favorite archaeological sites. But yeah, they just took care of him, even though he was old. And it shows, people always assume about the Stone Age, like geronticide, which is like the killing of the elderly, because they think of like the Stone Age as so cutthroat, like, oh, they're not contributing to the hunch, so we have to kill them, which did happen in some societies, but in most societies it didn't happen, and the old were just taken care of as we do today because we like our elderly. Like they're cool to be around and are really smart, so they're worth keeping alive, So that's a clear example of that 1.65 million years ago, which is just absurd, right? Just the timing of that is crazy.
That is wild. Yeah, and I guess ancestor worship was a very ancient thing too that probably came
Yeah, I mean, that's like one
from
of the
then too.
oldest religious like impulses for sure, and
Yeah.
widespread throughout the whole world. So it's like it probably just evolved from a practical, like, we really like grandpa, or like just a cool dude. I mean, do we not all do ancestor worship already? Like, I mean, like if I think about like my grandparents alive and like passed away, like I think about them all the time, and like that was a cool dude. And like,
Yeah.
it's not worship in a religious sense, but it's like reverence, I guess, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think the rest of these are about dogs. I think people thought I might be you. Okay, last one. I guess this is for you. With pseudo anthro online, what might be ways to show cool in scientific articles?
Huh.
Oh, because this is character limit. What might be cool ways to show scientific art? I guess they're like, what's a better way to like promote real science? I guess.
I just say like be critical of the person you're watching. Like even me, like sometimes I take too long to like put my sources in the descriptions because I go out.
I hate
I get my videos
it
done.
so much.
I get my videos done at like 6 p.m. on a Friday night, and then I go drink a bunch of beer. So it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to finish my bibliography for you on this Friday. So yeah, even me, definitely call me out if I say anything wrong, especially like if any archaeologists watch my videos, or like people who actually, know a lot about these things. Like, even if it's kind of nitpicky, just tell me. Maybe I won't edit the video, but like I'll remember for next time I bring up this topic. So yeah, just anything that sounds a little too, if something is like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like sensationalist or sensational or whatever. It's like you should be twice as critical. Like, right? If it sounds cool, it's probably
good point.
just not true. It's like the stoned ape theory. Sounds super cool. It makes great podcast clips, but it's like,
Yeah, the direwolf thing.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
yeah, it's just like you should be twice as critical of something if it is cool and like viral, right? I mean, that should just be a
Right.
default thing that we have in our society, but often it's not. And of course I'm victim to that too. I remember like when that like David Grush alien stuff was coming out, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
What's that?
You don't remember that? David Grush, he
Uh,
like claimed he was like a UFO whistleblower, and he like claimed like the US does have alien crafts, and he went on like
Oh.
Rogan and stuff, and I kind of ate it up because it was such a cool story. I was like, this is the
I
coolest
think he has
thing
a
ever.
different name, or I'm thinking of someone else maybe. But yeah, I saw the guy on Rogan that
Yeah,
talked
and it was
about
cool as shit. Like I loved it.
Yeah,
The podcast was so cool to imagine, like, wow, this is actually real. And then I gave myself a week, and I'm like, what are you thinking? This isn't true. It's just a cool story, and it gets in your head. And yeah, I guess that would be my main goal. Like cool stories aren't always true.
Let me type that in. I think I know exactly. Luis Elizondo. That's not him.
That's a different guy. Yeah. I watch too much of that content just because I just do love aliens from like a science fiction lens. They're just
Bob
so
Lazar.
interesting.
That's the guy I'm thinking.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
that other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably full of shit too. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm not going to judge. It's not my area of expertise, I guess.
Yeah. No, for sure. But you said aliens fascinate you in what way?
Just every way. I mean, how are they not fascinating? Like, just like from a fictional sense, the fact that there's a pretty good chance aliens are a real thing somewhere. Like, I mean, I don't think that's a crazy statement to even make, but yeah, just from like a hypothetical sense, thinking about like their evolution and just like if we ever meet them or anything, like I'm just forever fascinated like a little kid about that stuff. So
For sure.
So when I hear these whistleblowers on podcasts, my brain is primed to be like, this is true and this is insane. But then I go, wait a second, this guy's getting rich for talking about how he knows about aliens on a podcast. Duh. Like, you should be a little more skeptical.
Right. Good point, man. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it too. Because sometimes I fall for that too. And I'm like,
It's
what?
so hard not to. It's just like human. It's just, we love everybody loves a good story. And especially if it's like it's almost like the more sensational, the more believable in a way, because your mind is just like, this is so awesome and cool. I accept this as true because I want it to be.
Yeah. When the drones were over New Jersey, like this military guy went on Rogan talking about, or he went on one of those military guy podcasts. I forget what it is, but he's friends with Rogan. And he was saying like there was this whistleblower, had something to do with the guy who blew up the Tesla in Vegas, and like that the drones were like anti-gravitic. That's why they're not coming. And I texted my whole like friends in a group chat being like, dude, I don't know, it's pretty legit. 2 weeks later, I was like, why did I send
I know.
it?
And it's because in the moment you're like, it's just like,
sold.
it's just psychology at the end of the day. And you're just falling victim to your own like impulses to want things to be true and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skepticality or whatever the word I'm looking for is just something that we are just leaving behind. And we should definitely bring that back because it's been like 10 years since I feel like that just skeptical way of thinking has just gone out the window.
Where did that come from for you? Like, did you take critical thinking classes in college?
No, I'd watch Trey the Explainer videos.
Really?
Because he always made like videos about like big or like the Mothman and Bigfoot and other cryptids, which cryptids are so cool when you're a kid, especially. You're like, Mothman, that's the coolest thing I ever heard of. But he's just so he's like skeptical almost to a fault. But he had like the receipts for all that stuff too, which made it so cool. And I was just like, yeah, the skeptical way of thinking is like 99% of the time, you're probably going to be right. There might be 1% chance that this one thing is actually true, but then it's like, whatever. You might as well be right 99% of the time, right? So I think just like, science itself is inherently skeptical. And that's like something I'm definitely drawn to as well. Cause like, I'd rather hear things that are true than like, I see these channels just like posting, they found this in cave art and it's like an alien abducting a human. And it's like, all right, what cave is that in, bro? Like, it's just like, it's just so easy. This content is just everywhere. Like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for like people, young kids, and definitely like old people who just see these posts on Facebook. They're like, they just found this in a cave in France. And it's like,
it's
they
bad.
have no tools to protect themselves from just how ridiculously false any of this is. It sucks.
Yeah. And like my dad's a pretty sharp guy too, but like he'll show me something on TikTok and he's like, I think this might be AI. And I'm like, definitely AI. Like,
oh, my dad he falls victim to it so hard. And I have to be like, Dad, no.
Yeah. And it sucks too, because it's like he's living life for the first time as well, like dealing with AI the same way we are. So like it is curious to me, like how an older person deals with it and how younger kids are going to deal with it. And like you and I and, you know, people Stefan's age, probably half our audience's age right now is just like in the middle being like, what do we do?
Yeah, one of the things I feel like people who are on the internet right now, we got to see AI from like over the past only 5 years, probably. We got to see it in its most like primitive state, like slowly evolve. So we like, I don't know, we can kind of see that like when you're watching an AI video, you can see like just the tiny little subtle hints that it might be AI. You're like, oh, okay, it's AI. But for like a kid who's growing up, like they didn't get to see it in its like early states, just the most advanced states. So I'm sure kids are just smart. You know, that's how kids are. But yeah, old people have absolutely no chance. I'm sorry.
I think Philip DeFranco said this, like that YouTuber news guy. But he was like, he's probably quoting it, but AI is the worst it will ever be today. So tomorrow it will be better. Like it will never be worse than it is now. Yeah. And that's like a genuinely, I'm not like scared of it in that sense, but I'm scared of it in that sense of like, sometimes it looks really good.
I've definitely been scared of it just replacing my job. Like I make YouTube videos. Like
there's so much of that, dude. And yours specifically, I've seen people copy your exact format.
Just take my script, just take the words from my script, like AI, change it around, just generate like audio, perfect audio. And then just like, I think they do put the visuals in by hand, but it's just so easy to copy. Yeah. So I don't know, whatever. I'm doing fine right now. So I'm just gonna keep doing that until the AI just replaces us all. But
that was, I guess, my next question for you was after what's your favorite video you've made? We can do that too. But what's next for you? Like what's the big thing you want to do?
I gotta work less because it sounds corny because it's like I'm a YouTuber, so it's like, am I really working? Like all my friends have real jobs, so I can't even really say it. I'm not saying I'm working hard, but I've just been so obsessed with all these things I'm doing. I have so many side projects. And like
you're selling skulls?
Yeah, not yet. Like I'm gonna start soon. In July, I think I'm gonna start. But I got these like, I'll just grab one. These are I didn't 3D print this. This is like from bone clones, but I'm just showing like, you know, this is like the kind of thing I'm gonna be selling. It's just a Neanderthal skull. This is a young Neanderthal actually. Looks just like a Homo sapien. But
I would have thought that was.
Yeah, I'm gonna be selling 3D printed skulls. They look great. I got a really good model done like professionally. So nice. I'm gonna be selling those, but that's just like kind of almost a side thing. What I'm more looking forward to, and obviously you know about this, is I'm working on like an anthology series about the Paleolithic. So we got like the LA guys out there making the costumes, and we like filmmakers. Like it's going to be a really professional thing, and I'm going to do a GoFundMe or Indiegogo for it, and hopefully we can raise some good money to make this show. It's going to be obviously really accurate, because why wouldn't I make it not accurate? But it's going to show Paleolithic life, Neanderthals, even Homo erectus is going to be in one of the episodes, which is going to be really cool. And I put a lot of my own time into like trying to develop the story in a good way, because you can make a project like this fail so easily if you just like don't think about it from like a story standpoint and trying to make it like pay off and everything like that. So we're going to try to make that. We're going to try to raise our goal. I don't even know what our goal is. It's a lot of money, to be honest, but it's not like any of us are keeping the money. I don't think I'm going to profit a dime off of it, and I don't care to. I just want this to be really successful and show that like YouTubers can do this, like make really successful short films. And then maybe we'll try to get like a TV deal, or try to make it bigger. Because my idea from the very start is just like make people know about the Paleolithic. Like that's just what I've always wanted to do. So that's the goal for this series, is just like show people like a gritty, brutal view of like how humans were living 10,000 years ago, with no bullshit, none of the 10,000 BC like mammoths building the pyramids, just like real, like this probably did happen at some point in history, and I'm going to show you it, and it's going to be bloody, and it's going to be mean, and just revenant.
Like, are we talking violence with people, or like getting eaten by a cat, or like, I
don't think we have the budget for CGI cats yet. That's why we need a TV deal, so we can get a little more ambitious or something. But for now, we're definitely going to have violence between people without giving too much away. And then also just the elements, of course, and also just showcasing like, stone tool technology and stuff like the movie Alpha, the Alpha movie or whatever. I only watched the first 10 minutes, to be honest, but I did see the Flintknapping, and I was like, wow, that's surprisingly good, actually.
Yeah, it was surprisingly, the costumes and like they had salutarian points, like they were clearly napped points. That blew me away. The way they hunted was ridiculous.
Oh my God, I saw that, and that was just, I banged my head against the wall watching that. Threw their spears into the ground. You're never throwing a salutarian point into the ground on purpose.
I in the movie theater was by myself watching that, because my girlfriend at the time didn't want to go see it, and I was just like,
what am I doing?
Some grown man yelling at the screen. Okay. And then man, keep me posted on that, because like that's really cool. And like to see Homo erectus, how are you going to do that? Not CGI, if you don't mind me asking.
I think we're gonna, prosthetics is definitely, hopefully we'll have the budget for prosthetics, but also we could, I don't know, but we've been having meetings every week about it. So Homo erectus would be like the second episode. So we don't even know if we're going to get funding for the second episode, because they're going to be pretty expensive. So we like at least the first episode will have Neanderthals, and they'll actually also need prosthetic eyebrows. So I don't know, but we could also do like a face filter thing. Those are so good these days. And that's what movies use, like professional movies. So I don't know, these guys are like smart kids out in LA, like filmmaker dudes, and then it's like their jobs. So I have a lot of hope in them. And
good, man.
Yeah, it should be really cool.
I don't think I ever followed up with you about that, but keep me posted.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Will. I don't even know if we have the full script written yet, but I'd share it with you if we did. I'll have to check on that again. We have those. So I like told you the story that we have for the episode 1 was between with the human Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals is going to be the feature of episode 1. And that should be pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen, there's so little films about like Paleolithic life. Like there was Quest for Fire, which was pretty awesome, to be honest. Quest for Fire is pretty sweet. It holds up. I watched it the other day. They might have acted a little too much like apes in it, but otherwise.
But like, it was like believable and good.
But like, I think we can do what they did way better, just because
it's 30 years later.
It's 30 years later. I mean, like, obviously we're going to be more accurate with like the tools and everything, but they did tell a good story, and that's like really a story with like no words, which is, it's super hard to do. So that is some of the challenges that we have as well. But I've always wanted to do like a film thing like this. I always thought I would do something like this, but I never had any actual means of doing making a
Yeah.
short film, really. So this is like just personally, I find really fun to do. And I just can't wait for like what the audience thinks of it. They're going to be like, holy shit, like what? How did he make like,
Yeah.
obviously I can't take all the credit for it because the team's doing a lot of the most of the work, but I'm going to hopefully fly out there. We're going to film it in California, outside of Yosemite, somewhere in the mountains. I forget the name of them. So yeah, that'll be really cool.
Hell yeah, man.
So that's what my year
And you
looks
reached
like.
out to them or they came out to you?
I literally put in a video about Homo erectus encountering Dinopithecus. I was like, this is absolutely insane, because there's evidence that Homo erectus actually like ate or hunted or at least ate Dinopithecus, the big, that is the big baboon. It weighed like
Oh, yes. I did
170
see that
pounds,
video.
the biggest ones, just crazy. And these Homo erectus were little dudes, probably like 130, 40 pounds, like 5 foot, whatever. And they literally killed these giant baboons and ate them. And I was like, in the movie or in the video, I was like, someone needs to make a movie about this. If there's any filmmakers watching this, reach out to me. And that's literally how it started with these guys.
Nice.
Sometimes
That's awesome, dude.
What I've learned with YouTube is you can just say something and like you never know who's watching or what's going on. Like, yeah. So that's,
Need to remember that.
yeah, you should, because you literally like
Yeah.
some super famous filmmaker could be watching your video right now who's just like into these topics, and it's just like, yeah. So
That's how I got the book deal with ologies. She just at the end was like, "Do you have a book?" And I said no. And then she was like, "Well, book agents reach out." And then they
really?
reached out.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Wow.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a cool episode. I listened to that.
Thanks, man. That was one of my favorite interviews I've done. She like even pulled me aside afterwards, like after we were done recording, and she was like, "That was like really good." I was like, "Thanks."
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems great at, I don't know, her like personality and everything.
Yeah, she's been doing it for years, and like even like Ed Helms, the guy from The Office, said like, I saw something the other day. His favorite, I think she posted it. His favorite podcast is Ologies.
Right.
Like, I forget, like a lot of people listen to it.
Get me on there now. I
Yeah.
need Ed Helms to see my.
Right. Yeah, man. So that'll be cool. I guess the last question I guess, what's your favorite video you made?
Man, that's a tough one. Okay, well, I made that 100 men versus gorilla video, and I totally
came out with that quick.
I totally thought that one was gonna fail, because I was just like, all right, people are sick of this topic. But I was like, you know what? I enjoy this topic, so I'm just gonna make this video anyways, because I actually legitimately loved researching that. And I posted it, and it blew up, and I was like, let's go. Like, sometimes that's how you
that was smart of you, dude. Like, it was like, even your title, what was it? So you think the gorilla has a chance?
Yeah, you
or
actually
something?
think the gorilla has a chance? I put that video
Yeah.
together in 3 days. I like got back from vacation, and I was like, I have to make this video quick. And I put it together. But so that was cool. The other one I really liked was like testing Neanderthal weapons. I made that like a month back, and I like threw
Love
the
that
Neanderthal spear into a ballistics jailhead, and it like exploded and stuff. I really like mixing like practical stuff in with like my voiceover and everything. It's just really way harder, like time wise, to do. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say those are two of my favorite ones. That's like recency bias, but I'll just take that. Yeah.
Cool. The North Sentinel one you did that was pretty recent. Or the one you just reposted today, I thought was great.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, and like I didn't know that they went and checked out the ship and stuff. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, they're really not as uncontacted as most YouTubers want you to think they are. Like,
sure,
they
it's
are
the last bit of mystery.
I mean, they are very hostile and like on their own, but there's been probably 10 or 15 occasions where they've like directly like hung out with people.
Gotcha. Okay. And then my last question I always ask people is, I know you're not like an anthropologist per se, but you have an answer. What does it mean to be human to you? You can take a second.
God.
And it could be that you could fight a gorilla, doesn't it?
Being human is just like to take in information from the world and then just to perceive it however you perceive it, and then put that back out into the world, I guess. So it's just, I'm thinking from like a very like basic, like mechanical almost point of view. But yeah, it's just like,
it's a definition of culture.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I would say. Yeah. You just like taking in like, whoa, this stuff is crazy. And then you're like think of it, you interpret it in your own way. Yeah, I guess like culture. And then, I guess not even necessarily how you interact with the world, just how you perceive everything and conceptualize it and rationalize it. Yeah. I guess that's my really not succinct version of answer to your question.
It works for me though. That was good. And I guess if the audience, if you're listening, any other questions you'd have for Mr. North, put them down here in the comments, and I'm sure he'll be back on. We can ask him then, or check out the comments here. But anything else you want to do, say, or plug?
No, I guess just my YouTube channel. Just go watch my videos, like them up. I guess likes are pretty important. I've been finding that out in the past month. So I always tell my audience to like. Yeah, tell your audience to like. And they usually do it because they're usually nice and support you because they're watching your videos. So
I need to be way better about that.
I know. I've been making YouTube videos for almost 10 years, and I never cared about likes because I was like, that's so tacky and YouTube-y to be like, give me a like.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Smash that like button.
I don't care anymore. I literally, in my last video, I literally have me punching a watermelon in slow motion, and it says the like button, and it says smash the like button. I don't care.
Nice.
Honestly, sometimes the less you care on YouTube, I feel like the better your stuff does. There's something about it.
That's a good point. That's Stefan's advice to me, was just don't worry about it. If it does bad, just keep posting.
Yeah.
I meant to ask you too before you go. You're editing all those Instagram reels and TikToks you're doing, right?
The ones no, I am not actually. I don't have that much time, believe it or not.
I saw one the other day and I was like, damn it.
With all the bells and whistles too.
Yeah.
I got this new editor guy. He's Serbian, and he just reached out to me. Nice. And I was like, hell yeah. And we've been working together, and he's been just taking my content, and he just knows how to make them, so TikTok-y. I don't have the brain cells for that. I just can't. I don't know how to edit like that. I just don't have the brain for editing necessarily. My editing is very simple, really, but
it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. All right. Well, that's North02, and that's the same thing on TikTok and Instagram as well.
Yeah, it's the usernames are kind of weird on there, but it should come up if you look up North02. I didn't get the plain North02, unfortunately. I'm not Milo Rossi. I don't have all the good handles. I don't know how he does. I don't know how he gets them, but
yeah. Well, I guess for our audience listening, if you're just starting, I think it was a teacher told me in high school, buy your domain, your name as your domain name, so you can always have it. And then that worked out for me later on. It's my email, my domain, and all my handles. But for other people, that's your intellectual property. I guess for Milo Milo, he can just buy it. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, these other accounts are just inactive, haven't posted in 18 years or whatever, and have the name North02 for some reason. So I'm just well, damn, whatever.
I'm sure you could get it at some point, but
I'll have to message Instagram or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, this was awesome. I'm glad we got to chat finally.
Yeah.
Happy to talk anytime.
Super fun. It's just, no one I know in real life knows anything about any of these topics at all. So I'm usually just 10 beers deep talking about Homo erectus to my friends, and they're like, okay.
Hell yeah. Well, anytime, man. Cause it's I've wanted to just talk to you on Zoom or something, but I might as well just bottle that into a pod.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah. So yeah, now we get to know each other. We can do it again. Talk anytime. You got my number.
Yeah.
And we should definitely hit ballistics gel together with something at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man.
Dust there too.
Yeah, he lives right down the road.
Really?
I can get him on that too.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Colorado.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go nap with him later. Not today, but this summer.
Jealous.
Thanks. He's fun. He's very tall.
Yeah, right. Isn't he 6'6" or something? Tall. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
making me look.
You can see it in the video I have with them. It's it's pretty staunch.
Funny.
But yeah, all right. Like and review this. Like this video. Thank you.
Smash the like button.
The podcast. Smash the like button, as Dane said, hitting it with a maquat. And then subscribe, and then follow North on his channel. And I'm really bad at ending these, so there you go, man.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.